One example of how Facebook is clamping down is that it's banned British anti-Islamic activist Tommy Robinson from the platform and on Instagram too.
When ideas and opinions cross the line and amount to hate speech that may create an environment of intimidation and exclusion for certain groups in society, in some cases with potentially dangerous offline implications, we take action. Tommy Robinson's Facebook page has repeatedly broken these standards, posting material that uses dehumanizing language and calls for violence targeted at Muslims. He has also behaved in ways that violate our policies around organized hate.
Robinson's ban fired up his supporters online, complaining the move is a politically motivated step to censor free speech. Others praise the ban for targeting hate speech. Social media companies have been stepping up efforts to block content that's deemed offensive, but there is wide disagreement over what point online policing becomes censorship.
It's very clear that if you join these social media giant company pages and you set up your own page, then you have to abide by their rules and regulations. One, you don't peddle hate. Two, you don't tarnish and legitimize the racism and xenophobia towards just Muslims. I just think that's unacceptable. And the fact that you are called out for your hatred should be welcome.
This is censorship. The online world is the new public sphere, and it's wrong that major corporations like Facebook, like Instagram, have the power to remove opinions from public consideration, and him drawing attention to what he sees to be the radicalisation of Britain. And I don't agree with his position on that point. But I think the really worrying thing is that these arguments about Islam are now being pushed out of the public square into a sphere where they're not being challenged and not being considered. I think that inevitably brings with it certain obligations to stand up and defend freedom of speech.
Well, it's not about freedom of speech. I mean, with freedom of speech comes responsibility. So if you want to criticise and question Islam or Muslims, then that's okay in a free society. What isn't acceptable is to perpetuate the hatred towards one particular community, looking at the crimes of just one particular community, and then not expect there to be a reaction. So I'm really glad that these social media companies have woken up.
It's easy for people to now conclude that there is this mission on behalf of social media companies to edit and censor right-wing opinions out of the mainstream. You know, there's significant precedent for this now.
The idea that Facebook is silencing the far right is laughable. What Facebook is doing is saying, if you peddle hate and lies about a community, if you tarnish a whole community, if you advocate or encourage violence towards that community, then action will be taken, and that's what's been done.
I'm not someone of the right, but I recognise that that is a real problem, because it gives all of these individuals a chance to say that their arguments are too dangerous to hear. And if the public square is good for anything, it's good for challenging and dealing with arguments. And the more we try and push this underground, the more those ideas will go unchallenged. They'll reach people without interruption. They'll be communicated to people without having any contrary point of view put forward. And I think that is why censorship is always so dangerous.